This video is designed to show you how to identify and find scholarly research, and we'll be using a social research topic. In particular, we'll be looking at the relationship between poverty and crime. And we want to find research studies that have tested this relationship. So let me start off by just looking at a common mistake. A lot of times when people begin to do scholarly research, they just Google it, right? So here's a regular old Google search for crime and poverty, and what do we get? We get a number of statistical sites, different organizations and agencies that are interested in this topic, but unfortunately no scholarly research studies. So there's another version of Google called Scholar. It begins with scholar.google.com, and if we go there, we can search poverty and crime, and now we're getting to research studies. So poverty and crime in 19th century Germany, poverty, urbanization, and crime, books that study the issue, research articles. Most of the time when we're talking about a scholarly source, we're really talking about a journal article, and by journal I mean something like this, the Journal of Urban Economics. A journal is not the same as a regular magazine or an encyclopedia, but typically refers to some kind of field of study such as urban economics or sociology, American Journal of Sociology, or something like that. So this is a good place to go. And then most colleges and universities have a database of some sort that you can use. I like SocIndex because it indexes sociological articles. It actually goes beyond sociology. It's a great deal of social research in general. And if we search poverty and crime here, we know that we're looking in a database that is devoted to only looking at scholarly sources. Now, we have to caution you that some of the stuff that comes up here, well, won't be in English. That can be controlled. Some of the stuff will be book reviews. Some of the stuff will be conference presentations. And that may be okay as long as there is an attached paper, but generally what we're looking for again here are journal articles, published research. So for example, in the Journal of Poverty, we've got poverty, crime, seriousness, and the politics of disgust, urban poverty traps, neighborhoods, and violent victimization and offending in Nairobi, Kenya. You do get international stuff. That's fine. There's no reason to limit research to a particular context, in my opinion. And you'll notice that there's different years of publication, and if you click on one of these publications, let's say we want to look at the role of childhood neglect and childhood poverty in predicting mental health, academic achievement, and crime. We know that this source is a little more broad and focused than our topic, but our topic is addressed within it. And we have a direct link to the PDF document. But let's say we just want to have a quick look at what this article is about. There we find the abstract that tells us a little bit of what the study's about, what kind of research they use to conduct their study. And if it's something we're interested in, we can then click on the PDF document, and that will open up. There's the same abstract we saw before, and now here's the article. And scholarly sources generally have the same sort of outline. There's an introduction. Sometimes it just jumps into a literature review. Typically literature reviews have themed types of topics, like in this case, outcomes for neglected children, outcomes for children living in poverty. They've divided the literature up into particular themes, and that's a good practice. And then they get into the current study, what their goals are, what they hope to accomplish, and then their methods. How did they conduct the research? So here's the procedure, giving you technical notes and details, who the participants were in the research, what the measurement choices were. Then here's some particular concepts that were measured, and then the data analysis. So all this stuff is how they collected the data, and this is how they analyzed it, and they report the findings, the results. Right? So here we go. There's the results of the analysis. Typically in the results section you'll find tables such as this if it's a statistical type of study. Some studies are qualitative and they have a very different kind of look. And then there's typically a discussion, and sometimes that's just combined with the conclusion section. But what they do here is they attempt to make sense of the statistical findings in the previous section and bring it back to the literature. And in the end, of course, there's references. Most of the references were cited in the introduction or the literature review section of the article. So this is what a scholarly source looks like, and these are the different choices you've got for finding them, either a university or college-based database like SocIndex or Sociological Abstracts, or Google Scholar. Right? Google Scholar is another good choice. But what you don't want to probably do is just Google it. But you'll notice sometimes Google knows when you're looking up an academic topic, and it even recommends to you to look at scholarly articles, right? And that gives you a shortcut to Google Scholar, right? But you can just skip that step and go directly to scholar.google. And if you're lucky and you're on campus, as I am, there's direct links to articles from within Google Scholar. And that is more or less how we go about finding scholarly research in order to conduct social research investigation.